Hi, everybody. Welcome one more time. Today is Wednesday, July 29, and I'm your host, Samantha Letois. As I said, this is UCTV, and we are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 p.m. on fan page on Facebook Live, and then you can follow us on Instagram at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I say, welcome back to UCTV. Today is Wednesday, and we have an amazing guest today. We have Michael Blake Layers from International News Editor. You all know him. He's been here in our show for a few times, so we are so happy just to talk about him and talk about political and social climate, about his cross-country travel. Yes, he's been travel around the world and also inside the US, so he have a lot of information for you so we can discuss about topics and also social inequalities. And also, we're going to talk about a transgender woman from Cuba that got a new life in South Florida. So we all have connected and stay tuned with us because virtual summer camp Elevate is here and tomorrow is the last day for the virtual summer camp. Yes, everybody, tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m., Facebook Live is our last day for virtual summer camp and your CompuCam counselor, John and Davey from JBCS. So let me tell you, you guys, you have to be connected. If you want to get your reservation, go to www.gbscmiami.org/event so you can get your ticket and watch that part of the virtual summer camp Elevate with David Quinones and John Buckley, your CompuCam counselor. And Friday, July 31, honey, we got that for you. 2020. Remember, Willis Reséndez Roy, la Corte Imperial de la Corona de Borbón y Vizcaya de México. Estaremos hablando con nuestras comunidades, lo más importante de nuestra comunidad LGBT, el grupo internacional creado para otorgar el apoyo a la comunidad internacional y local de los latinos LGBTTI y LGBT Philanthropies International Organization funding on based on Mexico City. Mexico will charter throughout our patria. So you all want to know about the Corte Imperial, just stay connected with us. This is UCTV, and that show is going to be on Friday, July 21st. Remember, 4 p.m. here on Facebook Live and then on Instagram and YouTube. For our trans community, Unity Coalition have here our virtual lab exhibit featuring work by Vanessa Monroy, Jeniel Hernandez, Candice Kroll, Jaden Diera, Tanya May, and Chloe Martini. This is for our trans community, and we have the virtual art lab and exhibit by Unity Coalition. Go to check it out, that website, unitycoalition.org/transart, and find more information about it for our transgender, gender non-binary, and gender non-conforming communities. So we got that opportunity for you. Unity Coalition and also Celebrate Your Orgullo and Ambiente Magazine. We are sponsoring this amazing and spectacular at the Betsy Hotel, an online community gathering, Zen and Art of making music and writing and poetry and building that community. Monday, August 3rd, 7 p.m. Julie Marie and Joy Lavin, which is Joy won participation a few years in our trans art community by Unity Coalition. So all you all stay connected and featuring by the Betsy Hotel and Unity Coalition, and also Ambiente Magazine sponsoring this event. And for all of you, you want to get your shirt, honey, your shirt celebrating diversity, unity, diversity, go to check it out, unitycoalition.org, and also donate $20.20 so you can get your unity and diversity t-shirt with a mask for you. And it's a free shipping for all the US inside the country. So go and check it out. And don't forget, honey, get your unity and diversity t-shirt so you can, participate in our book and take that picture and send them to Unity Coalition so you can participate. So today we have Michael, I know that we love you so much, and you know everything about UCTV. So today we're gonna talk about how it's going on, how it's happening with the COVID here in this part of the country. So Michael,
Yeah,
welcome to UCTV.
thank you so much, mi amor. It's so good to be back with you.
I'm happy all the time that you
Me
bring me
too.
that vibes, because I know that you're a journalist, but at the same time you travel inside the country. So I
Yeah,
want to know how is that like traveling? You're now in Mississippi, right?
we are in Natchez, Mississippi, as we speak. Yeah,
Okay.
we left South Florida. Yadiel and I left South Florida last Friday. We started in Fort Lauderdale on our latest reporting trip. We drove through Jacksonville. We went to New Orleans, and from there, yesterday we drove to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and now we're in Natchez. And then tomorrow we head to Tallahassee, and then eventually back to South Florida. So it's been really interesting just to see how folks are reacting to the COVID pandemic. I can tell you here in Natchez, there's a mask order with the city and the county, Adams County here, and you see that in New Orleans. You see that even in Alabama, where we spent a little time driving through there Saturday, and that certainly was something that we saw. Obviously, South Florida, there's a lot of regulations about what one has to do going out to bars and clubs, and Miami being the epicenter of the pandemic. Um, but certainly there's no statewide order in Florida, as we know. So that's a very interesting thing to see. But yeah, it's always very interesting to do these sorts of trips, anyways. And with COVID going on, it just makes it even that much more interesting. And it has changed some of the logistics as well. So eating out is something that we may not do as much. I cooked all of my food in Fort Lauderdale. I drove instead of flew. I would normally fly, but I'm not comfortable getting on a plane right now just because of COVID. And so I think getting in a car and driving is a much better way to control one's environment. So
So
we're doing
now
things like that. Yeah.
So now that you said that is more restriction that you're taking right now in order just to have that role inside the country, because you said that you get used just to fly either to drive. So now that you have to drive, you have to take more like be careful about like especially with this COVID-19.
Yeah.
Michael, what is that recommendation, especially right now that you're taking that trip? For people that they just want to drive, go somewhere out of the
Yeah.
state, and there's more restriction that probably don't know during the road. There are some places that they're open or not. So,
Yeah. Hotels are certainly open. When we were in New Orleans, for example, everybody likes to go to New Orleans. The capacity of the hotels was very low. I've been there several times in July, and it's disgustingly hot weather. And like, why would you go to New Orleans in the summer? But people go to New Orleans in the summer. So, the hotels were very quiet. We went to Bourbon Street several times. We were staying right on the corner of Canal and Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street is essentially shut down at this point. There were some people out Saturday night when we drove in, which surprised me a little bit. But the further you got down Bourbon Street, it was absolutely deserted. I've never seen Bourbon Street like that. Even the city has basically told bars to shut down if they don't serve food. And so all of the gay bars that are along Bourbon Street that are usually packed with people on any given night, especially on a Saturday night, they're all closed. So you walk down the street and there's nobody on the street. It's so weird. And you don't hear music. I mean, you see a few people out here and there, but it's a very different city than when we were there, even at the beginning of March, before COVID really became an issue. Everything was open, but now we're in the end of July, and it's a much different situation. So that was the most stark representation of how things have changed for me. In terms of South Florida, I went to the beach in Fort Lauderdale. I was staying near the beach every morning. I like to go swim in the ocean, and I walked 10 minutes to the beach. And there were no restrictions on the beach, but it did seem quieter. Granted, it was 7 o'clock in the morning, but usually there's a lot more people out jogging or running around or just hanging out or swimming or whatever. It was quieter, and I wore my mask walking over to the beach. So that's certainly the precaution that we're all taking. And I come from DC, where that's been the rule for months, and so there's no question. You go out, you wear a mask, and we've certainly been doing that here. But in terms of I feel fine in the hotels. They're making every possible effort to keep things clean and force social distancing, and that's certainly
and
the case.
protect their
Right.
guests.
And that's even the case here in Mississippi and in Louisiana. There's plastic, there's a barrier between you and the receptionist. And you see that even in the supermarket. I was in a grocery store here in Natchez a few hours ago just to buy a couple of things for lunch. And that certainly was the case. So that's pretty universal. But, I think, again, there certainly was some concern about me coming down here on this trip. And I get that, but that said, you can travel. You just need to take your precautions, and I think common sense is most of it. There was no real chance we were going to go out and party on Bourbon Street, even if we could have done that. We didn't. We've done that before, but not on this
Actually,
trip.
we all go that just to party at the Bourbon Street.
Exactly. If you don't party on Bourbon Street, there's no reason to go. You have to, but at this point, it wasn't really possible. And right now, it's just probably not very responsible to go into a crowded bar or anywhere where there's a crowd of people. We did go to Cafe Du Monde one morning for breakfast, and they have it socially distanced and limiting access just to the patio. But these are things we have to deal with right now in order to protect ourselves, and businesses certainly are doing that. But it's been a really difficult time for the hospitality industry. I know the gay bars in South Florida have really had a difficult time, as they have all over the country. In DC, we're all in this together, and it's just been a really difficult time. But in terms of traveling, there are ways to do it. Now, one thing that was announced about DC when I hit the road, when I was on the road, was that folks who were coming to DC from COVID hotspots, which includes Florida, which includes Louisiana, Mississippi, have to self quarantine for 14 days. That's something else to keep aware of, because these rules are changing all the time. Now, for me to come back to DC, we found this out very early on, was that media is considered essential. So my understanding is, and I have to read it a lot more closely, but my understanding is that if I were, say I'm coming back to DC after essential travel and press being essential travel, we have to monitor ourselves for COVID symptoms. We have to get, tested. I was tested before I left. I'm negative. I'll get tested again when I get back. And only limit your activity to like essential things like going to the grocery store, doctor's appointments, things like that. So we'll have to figure that out when I get back. But things are changing all the time, and obviously with what the cases are just going up and up. I think when I was in South Florida, I think there were like 12,000 new cases in one day.
So,
It was
Michael, now that
insane.
you're talking about this, is there any restrictions that happen in other states that now that you're taking this role that you don't see that it happen in Florida? What is the difference that you see?
Yeah, I mean, I've noted, Louisiana has a mask mandate for anybody in public. Alabama, as I said, as well. That's statewide. That's not just in local municipalities. Florida, that's not the case. Certainly South Florida, everybody is required to wear a mask. In Jacksonville, that was the case as well. But there's no universal statewide mandate in Florida. Mississippi, I think the governor is strongly encouraging folks to do that. But local jurisdictions, as I said, Natchez and Adams County, which is here, and Natchez have done that, and it's very well marked. But again, and we were saying this off air, there's a lot of attention around people protesting mask ordinances and, protesting why they shouldn't have to wear a mask. I find that absurd, first of all. There's a hell of a lot more important things to protest than wearing a mask. I really haven't seen that. I think that's been quite overblown, quite honestly. I was kind of worried. I was interested to see if that was going to play out here in the South, and I've not seen that at all. From everybody that I've talked to in the travels that we've done so far, people take this very, very seriously. and they're doing everything they can to protect themselves. We're wearing masks when we interview people. We're trying not to, put people at risk. We're really trying to work with them to do that. And so far, people have been really responsive, and we're trying to be responsible as well. So far, so good. And let's hope that continues.
That's good. That's good to know. That's why we want to continue and encourage our people, let them know and remind them that the numbers are getting high and we
Yeah,
must to wear that mask. So keep that mask on and wash your hands every time that you need something and you're going out. Just put that mask on and wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer, and also donate to Unity Coalition, to Unity Diversity, so you can get a Unity Diversity shirt. Yes, honey, that's the way it is. And free.
I bought this in New Orleans. You can see
Oh, okay,
the little
okay. So you
flowers.
got it. So,
Got the
oh,
little
that's
flowers.
realness.
Yes,
That's realness. I love it. I
yes.
love it.
So wear your mask.
So wear
Remind
your
you
mask
of
and
what
keep
these
your
are
mask
to.
on. Keep
Yes,
your mask on. Yes. So get
yes,
your
yes.
Unity and Diversity T-shirt for only $20.20 and free delivery to all countries, honey. So inside the US, we have that free delivery. So you want to get in from outside the US, so let us know so we can figure it out and you get your Unity and Diversity T-shirt with a mask, honey. So take a picture and send them to unitycoalition.org so you can participate in our program impact for our community. So wear your mask every time. So Michael, now let's talk about you where you was telling me about you was getting out of detention center. Are you helping someone in specific?
Yeah, I mean, Yadiel, my colleague who you've talked to before, is with me on this trip. He's not able to join right now, but
Okay.
one of the things that we're doing on this trip is highlighting the plight of LGBTQ folks who are in U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody, and we were able to see some of the folks last night here in Natchez who helped Yadiel when he was released here almost 5 months ago. We're seeing his lawyer later this afternoon, so we really wanted to take a chance to just come and see them. And that said, we hear stories all the time about LGBTQ folks in ICE custody. I'll have a little bit more to share with that later on, but we're always trying to reach out to folks who are in detention. As you know, Samantha, certainly people with HIV who are in ICE custody right now are at heightened risk for coronavirus, and we're really trying to highlight that situation and speak with folks who are in detention. And as I said, we'll hopefully have some more on that. But yeah, so we really wanted to come down here to Louisiana and Mississippi to see what's going on and talk with some of the advocates and the lawyers, and hopefully talk to some of the detainees themselves about what's going on. Yadiel a few weeks ago interviewed a Cuban woman here in Louisiana who's in custody about her situation, and we interviewed her partner who's in Arizona. They're obviously very concerned about the impact of COVID in ICE detention centers. And then on Saturday in Jacksonville, we interviewed a trans woman from Cuba who's of African descent. She was in ICE custody for 8 months until she was released last August, and so we had a chance to sit down with her and hear her story. And she's building a new life for herself in Jacksonville, and she was it was a real honor to have a chance to meet her and talk with her. And so we're doing a lot of stories like that about immigration. It's continuing our immigrant coverage that we've been doing for a long time, but COVID certainly has made that a lot more urgent, and there's a real need for folks to understand just how vulnerable these folks are, especially in detention centers where the numbers of COVID cases are increasing by the day, and there's real concerns about whether ICE is doing enough to protect these folks. And so, again, it's really important that we're here and have a chance to speak with folks who are on the front line, as well as folks who are experiencing these fears and the situation firsthand. So stay tuned for more reporting on that from here for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to stay connected and stay tuned for get more report and more information. That's what I want to ask you something, Mike.
Yeah.
Michael, just if I have somebody here in South Florida that they been in detention center or they just got into the detention center, but they are identified as an LGBT person, they can contact with you, or you have other contact organization that can help you through this
Yeah,
to guide you.
I mean, our job is to really like highlight the situation. I don't know if this person is connected with like a legal organization or has a lawyer, but yes, have them reach out to me. We're happy to share their story, and I think visibility around these issues is so incredibly important. So yes, have them reach out to me if they can, and we'll be happy to talk to them and share their story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. In the meantime, let me remind to the people that Celebrate Orgullo is part of the Unity Coalition. Every year we celebrate, and this year is not the time that we pass that over. So we are celebrating Celebrate Orgullo from October 1st to the 15th. Go and check it out, celebrateorgullo.com, so you can have more information about it. It's going to be 15 days for all party and all virtual because everything is passing by the COVID-19. So we want to take care, but at the same time, it's just celebrating what is your orgullo, being Latino, being African, being American, and we have performers around the world. So we are breaking barriers. Just celebrate Orgullo October 1st to the 15th, October 1st to the 15th, 2020 by Unity Coalition. And Celebrate Orgullo is the Miami Hispanic and Indigenous Pride Festival since 2011. Go and check it out, celebrateorgullo.com, so you can get more information. So, Mike, is there more people that having like with this time of the COVID? There are so many cases that are having slow with the USCIS. I know that you're not getting involved about it, but you as a journalist, is that
Yeah.
hard just to find every day more and more stories about passing with the LGBT community, especially
Yeah.
for the
I mean,
transgender?
Yeah, I mean, our work is continuing as always, and we just have to do it a little bit differently. Like having face-to-face meetings with folks is certainly more challenging at this point. I know that in South Florida last Thursday, I was supposed to have an interview with somebody at Gates Healthcare Foundation, but you know, it was ultimately postponed for another reason. But initially, we were going to do it, socially distanced in the office, and then with the increase in cases, we decided to do it over Zoom. And I certainly respect people's concerns about being in close contact with folks at this point, whether that's an interview or a meeting or whatever. So we really work with them where they are. And yeah, that's always a consideration, especially now with the cases really increasing so dramatically. When we reach out to folks, for an interview, one of the first things we say is that, are you at all comfortable meeting with us in person? If not, we totally understand, but we would love to do that if it's at all possible. And if not, we just set up a phone conversation. I've used Zoom more. I've used Zoom. I use Zoom almost every day at this point. I didn't know what it was 6 months ago, to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
We all know about
Exhibit A
social
right
media
now, right?
now, Zoom and all this like app
Yeah.
just to
I
have
had no
conference.
I had no idea what Zoom was 6 months ago. I really had no idea. And now I probably should like buy stock in it or something. It's such a part of my life. So yeah, COVID has changed the way that we've done our work. I'm not able to travel abroad right now, in part because I'm not comfortable getting on a plane. But secondly, Americans aren't allowed to go to most of the world right now. So I don't see when I'm going to be traveling abroad anytime soon. So that certainly has changed the way that I do my work. But I did a Zoom call interview last week with an activist in Beirut, Lebanon, and that went really well. Once the internet connection on his end worked itself out, it was late because it was a power outage, which happens all the time with these sorts of things. So you just kind of roll with it. And then our correspondents in Latin America are still doing reporting, but it's definitely very different. But ultimately, we still have a responsibility to do our job as reporters and highlight what's going on. And COVID or not, we still have a responsibility and a job to do. And we're going to do it to the best of our ability. It's just a little bit different. It's a little bit different now.
Michael, let me ask you, how many journalists are working right now at the Washington Blaze?
Yeah, we still have our correspondent at the White House is still working full time. There's myself. We have my colleague in DC who covers local DC government issues. Some of our arts coverage has become less just because everything has been postponed or shut down because of COVID. But in terms of news, that's still going on as normal. So we're a team of about a dozen reporters and contributors and salespeople, and we still have our LA paper as well. So we have not stopped publishing since COVID. We're a little bit smaller in terms of the number of pages we have, but I'm proud to say that the Blade has not missed a print issue since COVID started. So that's something that my colleagues and I are extremely proud of, and we will continue to do that. And we still have our photo editor and our photo team as well. So we're still here, and we're still doing the work. So um, God, God willing, we're going to be here for
Absolutely.
many years to
As
come.
a yes, as a professional journalist, what is your recommendation for a future journalist? How the pandemic is affecting you right now? Like not only you, all journalists, because like I think
Yeah,
that most of the people have to rebuild their life, but especially in this patch of the way, like being a journalist is more affecting. Like now you said that
yeah.
either to travel, to fly, you have to drive. So
Right, right. And it's a very difficult time for journalism in general because with the
more
decrease in
exposed.
revenue, right. So the business side of it is really difficult. There's been lots of layoffs and furloughs and all of that. So that's industry wide that's going on. I know the Miami Herald I think has had some furloughs and buyouts and things of that sort. So we're all like just trying to figure out how to move forward in this climate. But journalism is as important as ever. We have, and we're coming into a presidential election year. I know there's elections in Florida are coming up soon. So journalists still, our job continues, and that's to hold folks accountable and to report what's going on and to shed light on things that need to be exposed. And pandemic or not, that still needs to continue. It's just very, you talked about it just a second ago, Samantha, like travel, logistics are very different um, in terms of travel, but, we're all doing the best we can. And, again, I was able to come on this trip and Gadiel's working with me, and so far so good. And it's kind of just one day at a time. You figure it out as you go along, but we're all in the same boat. And but journalism is still as important as ever, and even more so with what's going on in Washington and Tallahassee and Miami and everywhere. So we will continue to do our jobs.
It's good. And also, in the meantime, that people are continue to doing their job, we have to encourage the people that this is everywhere, not only in South Florida, everywhere the numbers are getting high. And that's why
Yeah,
we want to continue letting people, this is safe, this is what you have to do. And you, as a journalist, you have to encourage as well the people and
yeah,
teach them what is that recommendation that you're taking every day in order to continue with the new normal, because it's a
right,
new normal. And it's
right.
just wearing masks, as you said, some places there are not require masks, but this is what
Yeah,
you have to do. So this
we
is
don't like
and
we don't like to do it, but we have to do it. We have to do it.
absolutely we don't have to do it because most of the time it's just like you're somewhere and you couldn't breathe. It's just like you getting your own heat,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
temperature in your body is just very difficult. But that's the way that we have to do.
yeah.
So all of you encourage and wearing that mask is necessary. It watch your hands if you going out. So continue because that's part of your outfit right now. So your
Yes,
outfit.
lots of sanitizer too. Lots of little pockets of hand sanitizer. We have like 3 or 4 of them in our bag right now. It's
Are you
similar.
going to the beach with your hand sanitizer as well in your
Oh
hand?
yeah. Oh yes. We went to Cocoa Beach on our drive to Jacksonville, and
I saw that.
we had
How was
all
that
of it.
experience?
It was lovely. It was lovely. The weather was beautiful that day, and I feel okay on the beach, and The beach was very big that day. The tide was out, so it was a very wide beach, and it's not like people were on top of each other. It was kind of an off time. It was like 4 o'clock on a Friday, and yeah, I we felt fine. Like people were distanced. They were, there were like groups of like two or three people kind of hanging out. Um, we wore a mask, I think, from the parking lot to the beach. But once we're on the beach, we took it off, and yeah, it was just, it's one more thing, kind of little bit of normalcy, in spite of everything that's going on. And it was quite a lovely break from the drive from Miami, from Fort Lauderdale to Jacksonville. And yeah, it felt okay. It felt okay.
Any project that you said that you're going on your way with Janielle to Tallahassee?
We're working on confirming some interviews. I think the one thing I wanted to go to Tallahassee because of the Tony McDade case, the black transgender man who was killed by a police officer at
Yes.
the end of May, and it really highlights. It's one of those cases that really highlights the intersectionality of gender and race and discrimination and police brutality and all of these issues that have become so prominent since George Floyd's death in Minneapolis around the same time. So it seemed right to go to Tallahassee and try to connect with folks. I've spoken with an activist there a few weeks ago, and I'm going to try to meet with her. I texted her this morning, and she's willing to meet with us. So, and then we have a meeting with somebody from Equality Florida just to kind of get a lay of what's going on. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking to do in Tallahassee, and then just get some, as we often do on these trips, we get lots of stock photos of like the, places like the state capitol and where, Tony was killed and things like that. So that's kind of our rough plan at this point. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but hopefully that will all pan out. We'll be there on Friday. That's when we're hoping to do that.
I hope that everything is just going well and everything just passing the way that it has to be. We all want justice. We all want to resolve all this because it's very bad just to be in that bridge between this and this. We want just to get the best. And in the meantime, let me remind you, Trans Art is having here at the Trans Art Lab inclusive for virtual, because everything with the COVID-19, we just want to put that virtual. So virtual art exhibit is featuring by Vanessa Monroe, you all know, who is a local artist, Janiel Hernandez, which is a handsome man and also local, Candy Kroll, Jaden Vieira, Tania Mai, and Chloe Martini. You all transgender community are welcome, not only the transgender community, trans inclusive, all my community, all the support groups, we are well welcome. Gender non-binary and also gender non-conforming. So go ahead and check it out, unitycoalition.org/transr so you know more information. And to remind tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is the last day for a virtual summer camp with your Campy Camp counselor, John Buckley and David Quinones from JBC. So you all know tomorrow is the last day for Elevate Virtual Summer Camp free and grow up because it's 7 p.m. on Facebook Live by Unity Coalition. GBSC Gaming Night is hitting the summer camp this Thursday, July 30, to learn the true meaning about the friendship. Come over the Camp Tasty game for you Campy Camp counselors, I said, John Buckley and David Quinones. So stay tuned and stay connected because tomorrow is the last day for the virtual summer camp Elevate. And this Friday, este viernes, mi gente, no se lo pueden perder. Va a ser nuestro programa en español. Viernes 31 a las 4 de la tarde aquí en la página oficial de Unity Coalition en la fanpage y a las 5 de la tarde en nuestro horario del este en el Instagram y en nuestro canal de YouTube. No se pueden perder. Willis Reséndez Roy de la Corte Imperial de la Corona de Borbón y Vizcaya de México. Un grupo internacional creado para otorgar el apoyo a la comunidad internacional y local de los latinos LGBTI. So, todos ustedes quieren saber mucho más acerca de esta corte imperial y la corona de Borbón de Vizcaya de México. Estén conectados con nosotros este viernes, julio 31 a las 4 de la tarde, recuerden, y luego a las 5 en el Instagram y en YouTube para que no se puedan perder toda la información. También puede visitar nuestra página web unitycoalition.org en inglés o coaliciónunida.org en español para que toda nuestra gente latina. Recuerde que estamos aquí desde mucho tiempo para nuestra comunidad latina indígena aquí en el sur de la Florida. ¿Quieres saber mucha más información? Todo lo que está pasando del COVID, que está abierto, que no está abierto, vaya y visite los recursos comunitarios en Unity Coalition. So for our community, let me remind you, we have everything about the COVID-19 in our website for Unity Coalition and also the Washington Blade. You can guys check it out. Everything that's passing with the COVID-19, what is open, what's not, go and check it out. UnityCoalition.org. Scroll down until you see the information for our community resource and go ahead. There's everything that you need to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Most of the time, I was looking at the Washington Blade, and there is a transgender a post. It was, let me check it out here. It was on the from the 29th, I think that it was today, from a transgender woman that it was targeting gay bar patrol for assault.
Oh, in DC, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Can you tell me about that story? It was
Yeah,
impacting on me. It was very, very impacting how my
yeah,
community is being targeting for it.
yeah. And I've seen this person myself. She's in our neighborhood. There's been an issue with this person going up to folks on the street over the last couple of months and she asks, from what we've heard, she's asked them for money for Casa Ruby, which, if you don't know, is a shelter for LGBTQ folks in DC. Ruby Corrado is the one who runs it. She's a transgender woman. She's absolutely fabulous, and we all adore her. She's just done amazing work for the community. And this person who you meant in the article that you mentioned has been reportedly going around asking people for money for Casa Ruby, and she is not a client there. She's not affiliated with Casa Ruby in any way. I can tell you personally, this person came up to my husband and I a few weeks ago in our neighborhood. We were just walking home from the CVS near our apartment.
Okay.
And she said to me that, she was a client of Casa Ruby. She needed money to get up there from where we were, which is in a DuPont Circle, and Casa Ruby's maybe 4 or 5 miles away. So it would have been a pretty, it probably would have been a $20 or $30 Uber ride to get up there. It's just another part of the city. So I had already seen reports from Ruby's Facebook page about this person, and I just said no, and then we went home. But apparently there's been issues where this person has actually assaulted people for once they say, no, or once they confront her with, what they know from Ruby or from reports. And so it's really, people are genuinely increasingly concerned about this person. And as my colleague reported, she's been arrested several times. And so that's what I know. But I have seen her personally in our neighborhood several times, and people are definitely not happy with what she's doing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a very troubling situation.
I know it is a very troubling situation, and especially for this time for somebody that identified as a transgender and doing this kind of like acting or action is affecting the community direct or indirectly, and it's very unfortunately, especially at this time of the life, that we are transgender being targeted, and these people that doesn't identify as a transgender, they trying just to get more and more in trouble. But well, I hope that everything just find the way, and they can find her, and she can find she or him. They can find the way.
And that's what I would say too. I've seen a lot of things on social media.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of like feedback for the situation of passing.
Yeah, and people, on one hand, people are really upset at this person for what she's doing. But on the other hand, there's also some empathy, that in the sense that, maybe she needs mental health,
Exactly.
she's suffering from mental health issues, or she has a substance abuse problem or whatever. So on one hand, people are really upset about what she's doing, but on the other hand, they're hoping that, she gets the help that she obviously needs. And so I'm sure we'll continue to follow that, but that's the latest as to what we know. And it's a very troubling and unfortunate situation for sure.
Absolutely, it's a fortunate situation. So, with that being said, I just want to remind to the people that Unity Coalition is still helping the service community. Most of your bartender, drag queen, and waitress, we love our job. We don't have any income, so we want to continue helping the community, and we need your help. Go to the website unitycoalition.org, and also to the fan page on Facebook or the Facebook group Unity Coalition, and donate until you find out microgiving fund coronavirus crisis. We are helping the community. With your donation, we can help the service community to pay their bill for food or any medication that they are requiring right now, especially in this time of the year and with the COVID-19. So continue helping the community. As I said, unitycoalition.org, scroll down and donate, because the best part is every single coin is going right away to the community, so we don't hold nothing and people don't have to worry about it. Go and check it out and donate to the people, and also follow on social media and share, because there's more people that can find it and continue helping that community.
Support your bartenders and your servers and your drag queens. They are the backbone of our community and they need our support. So please, please, please support them.
And thank you to you. Thank you, because you always that we need you here in Unity Coalition. We have you. You always came with news. You always came with more information in Spanish, in English. You and Yaniel, we always all connecting. I hope that we can, have a new episode, a new show with the stories about Diana Mena, which is the transgender woman from Cuba, and then I know that Daniel is gonna be on top of that. So we are so happy, and we can wait just to have another talk show about this amazing story and the new life about the Cuban transgender woman, because it's a great. I was reading a little bit at the website, and it get me tears off. So I'm so excited for that. I'm so happy.
She's wonderful. She's wonderful.
So let me ask you: do you got your Unity and Diversity T-shirt?
I wore it last week. I did. I don't have it with me at the moment, but I do have it, and I wore it in DC last week. I wore it to physical therapy last couple weeks ago.
I saw the picture.
Daniel has his as well.
Yes, he got a picture in at the beach.
All of DC, yes.
Yes, we all got that. Look at that.
Oh,
we all got
we look so cute.
You remember the day? Oh my God, that was the first day that we got the whole bundle.
Yeah, that's when you gave them to us. Yeah, all of DC saw me wearing it 2 weeks ago. My husband loves it. I must tell you, he was very
okay. That he got his own shirt.
No, y'all gotta send us one.
Okay, so let me remind to the people, you want to get you on, just go to unitycollection.org and donate $20.20, because this donation will help the community. It's not for us, it's for community.
Yeah.
So let me introduce you, my super friend, Frenchie. She ordered that shirt, honey, and you don't have this. She ordered that shirt and you don't have that shirt. So get your Unity and Diversity t-shirt so you can wear it and fashion it and take a picture. Send them to unitycoalition.org and participate in the book that we have for Unity and Diversity. Just remember, $20.20 and get the free delivery inside the US. Michael, last recommendation. We have only about like 15 minutes just to finish with this amazing. And I always said, thank you so much for your participation.
Yes,
recommendation for a new journalist. I want to, write it down something. What is that topic that I have to take? Me, a transgender woman. I want to read, I want to write it down, some story,
Yeah. A really good friend of mine years ago gave me this advice, and it sticks with me. And he's a dear friend in South Florida, actually. He said, always write. When I travel abroad, especially when I would go to Cuba, I would start my day with writing in my journal, and now I kind of jot things down in my phone and my notes that I have every day, just to kind of capture, what I'm thinking, what I see. Journalists, if anything, are visual, so our job is to capture what we see and what's going on, setting place and things like that. So yeah, always write about your experience. It could be something as serious as being in detention for almost a year, or it could be as something as seemingly trivial as I went for a walk along the Mississippi River this morning and I saw beautiful trees, and the sunrise was beautiful and birds were chirping. Something that might seem so stupid, but that's what you see and that's what you feel at that moment. So it's very important to write that down. And then, never lose your curiosity, because we as journalists are very curious people, and we're always asking ourselves, why is this happening? Who can I talk to? So never lose your curiosity. And the final thing I would say is, don't be afraid to hold powers to be accountable. That's what we do, and that's how things change. And so don't be afraid to, hold our elected officials and powers to be accountable.
So don't be afraid.
And have fun. Also have fun. I forgot.
That's the best part. That's the best part.
This can be very fun too. So.
And most of the time can be very dangerous, because I know that you as a journalist, you have to be exposed in so many things. So have fun, but be safe, right?
Exactly.
So, so that's our recommendation for today. And we want to say, at least, thank you all for watching us. We just have like 10 minutes left and everything, but we got all the recommendation. We got an amazing topic. We talk about what's going on at the Washington Blaze, and also with this amazing man. I hope to see you next time, because we always have something to talk new, right?
Absolutely.
How we can follow you on social media?
Sure. There's many different ways. You can follow me on Twitter at mklavers81, mklavers81. I'm on social media, Facebook as well. MK Lavers is my personal account, but Michael K. Lavers is my Facebook page. And then I'm at Michael K. Lavers on Instagram. The Blade is at Wash Blade on Twitter. We're at Los Angeles Blade on Twitter as well. And you can find everything and anything you want to know about the Blade and our work. And I write in Spanish as well. So I'm bilingual. And so anything in Spanish and English, you can find it on my Twitter and my social media. So yeah,
in collaborations, in collaboration, they can follow you, and we can find you on social media. So any collaboration that you can do. Just remember, Celebrate Orgullo is here just to remind you, and go to check it out, celebrateorgullo.com. This is a little preview of what you can see on the website. We have the tour, we have Talento, we have the math book, and also a sponsorship and more information. And scroll down, you can see all the pictures from all my people that they just wear it. Póntela, 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 yeah. Wear it now. So you want to be part of this amazing book of picture for Wear It and Póntela. Order your Unity and Diversity T-shirt for only $20.20 to help that community by unitycoalition.org. So this is the time to say Celebrate Orgullo, October 1st to the 15th, 2020 by Unity Coalition. Michael, thank you so much. And this is the time that we say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for teaching us more about, we look so cute. Yadiera, I miss you.
Yeah, we're so cute. Yeah, we got to go back to Miami and redo that.
Absolutely. I hope to see you soon.
Again soon.
I hope to see you soon. So thank you all for watching us, and thank you for this opportunity. This is UCTV, and we are here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. on Facebook Live, and then 5 p.m. Instagram and YouTube Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Samantha Letois, and this is UCTV, Music, Entertainment, and News. See you next time.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later, mi amor.
Yes, thank you.